Hello, NFL fans. Welcome to the NFL News, January 8th, 2025. Of course, this series is continuing on for this week, of course, for coaching news. And yep, that's all I got. That's all I got. Let's start with the news that happened last night. If you have not seen my short, go check that out. But the 49ers have moved on with Nick Sorensen after one season. Now, Nick Sorensen was promoted as the defense coordinator for the 49ers. And the numbers, yeah, their season was disappointing. One of the more disappointed seasons in 49ers history. So they move on with Nick Sorensen. I'll get to the other news for the 49ers fans, so stay tuned, as they will be searching for a fourth defensive coordinator. On to head coaching updates. Let's go. So the Bears are expecting to interview former Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll this week on Thursday. It would be Thursday. Now Pete Carroll served as former Seahawks head coach. I think this is a real good candidate. I think keep an eye on these former NFL head coaches, which another one we're going to get to talk about later on. Um, Pete Carroll will interview with the Bears for that head coaching job on Thursday. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars have added Brian Flores, the former Dolphins head coach and current Vikings defensive coordinator, in their candidate list. So Flores will be scheduled to go to Jacksonville for a head coaching job. The Raiders, here is what we got as of right now. The Raiders have added Aaron Glenn, Lions defensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, Lions offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, Ravens offensive coordinator, and here is someone the Raiders fans could love to have them in their team. Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs defensive coordinator. This one is an interesting candidate, and I'll get to that in a minute. But the Jets have also added Steve Spagnuolo in their head coaching search as well. Why is Steve Spagnuolo in this? Now, remember, after their Super Bowl win, back-to-back Super Bowl wins, he was getting some interesting head coaching jobs, but also he got an extension with the Chiefs. And then the 49ers broke the news that they were in talks with Steve Spagnuolo for a defensive coordinating job before he made the extension. I actually think Steve Spagnuolo is finally going to get his head coaching job. And it's going to depend on what situation he's going to have to deal with, the relationship with the owner, the GM, the organization. I think Steve Spagnuolo will do a great job as a head coach. Will it be this year? Maybe. Will it be next year? Sooner we'll find out. The Titans GM search has begun. Let's get to these candidates. Ed Donts, the Colts assistant GM. Terrence Gray, the Buffalo Bills director of player personnel. John Spikett, Bucks assistant GM. And then earlier announced Thomas Stanford Pro, the former Falcons general manager. Now the Titans will be searching for a new GM after yesterday announcing they fire Ryan Canton after just spending 2 years with the Titans as their GM. And it sounds like Brian Callahan will remain as the Titans head coach as of right now. We'll get to that. The Jets have also added another GM candidate, and this is an interesting one. Chris Spielman, the Lions special assistant to the owner and the CEO. Now, why would you want to interview this man? Well, he's an assistant with the owner, of course, with the owner with the Lions. He's been spending time with Brad Holmes and his staff, learning from them, and I think he would be another good candidate. But I just don't know about that interesting request interview there. Here's one hire. Our first hire is also of the year. The Browns have hired former Rice head coach Mike Bloomgren as their new O-line coach. Now, he has not had NFL experience, but he's been an O-line coach for Stanford. He's been to all these O-line coaching staff. So he's experienced O-line coaching position, but this time he will be coaching O-line in the NFL with the Browns. Speaking of this one, this is an interesting. I didn't add this, but they have not reported of the schedule. The Bears are expecting to interview Iowa State head coach Matt Campbell. This is an interesting candidate. Matt Campbell, remember, Matt Campbell is another college coach with Steve Sarkisian, which Adam Schefter reported of 5 days ago. And then you have Marcus Freeman, maybe early, maybe next year's coaching candidate. This one is interesting. Matt Campbell, I think he's had an extension, I believe, 2 years ago. This could be a great opportunity. I just think he would stay in Iowa State. All right, some sad news over there in Los Angeles with the Vikings. Rams will remain in LA despite with the wildfires over there in LA. We all must pray to those who are suffering over there in LA with the wildfires. Now, Arizona is expected to be the replacement for the host on Monday night. And then it depends on how severe the wildfires are in Los Angeles. And they got time. I do think they're going to make the announcement on Saturday. If the wildfires continued, they'll move to Arizona. And if not, then they will play in Los Angeles. But right now, the NFL has announced that this game will still be played in LA for now. All right. Raiders fans, you want to think about this one. Raiders and Tom Brady, who is part of the ownership, has reached out to Bill Belichick about head coach job. Okay, this is not going to happen. First off, UNC, earlier I just checked this out, UNC did announce that Bill Belichick is expected to remain as UNC head coach. Makes sense because, yes, Bill Belichick is right now driving through high schools, doing recruiting as the Tar Heels head coach. Happy for him. And he does it. And he's doing the greatest job over there in Chapel Bill. Get it? Chapel Bill. We're going to replace Chapel Hill to Chapel Bill. But this news, at this point, I don't see him coming back in the NFL for the 2025 year. I think he's going to think of that decision maybe after his first year in Chapel Bill. All right, some 49ers news. Let's get to this one. The 49ers are promoting Klay Kubiak as their new offensive coordinator. Finally. However, Kyle Shanahan will still be the play caller. Okay. Why you didn't hire Klay Kubiak? You could have just done that. But Klay Kubiak, who's the younger brother of Klay Kubiak, now will be promoted as the offensive coordinator for the 49ers. 49ers are also making plans to keep Deebo Samuel for 2025, and they are expecting to release their defensive tackle Javon Hargrave on the June 1st post deadline. Remember, their biggest acquisition 2 years ago is now going to be a free agent. And then finally, they are targeting Robert Saleh for the defense coordinating job after firing Nick Sorensen. I think this makes sense. I said it in the short that I had a question for you guys. Do you think the 49ers should rehire Robert Saleh? And I think this could be a possibility. If things go well with the interview, I think Robert Saleh will take the job in San Francisco. That is it for today for the NFL Sports News. Of course, this is still a special edition of Sports News, NFL News, June 8th, 2025. I'll keep you updated for more NFL news. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.